So I've always been that kind of person who thought that I was born differently, that I was very special because I didn't plan, or as I don't plan. I didn't find myself making strategies, even back in schools. And I would just wake up, show up, and somehow, you go with the flow and how the world is taking you. But something changed my mind actually. For a long time, it worked actually. No plans, no strategies, and life was moving on well, passing. You get gigs here and there, and people appreciate you. When you have gigs, you practice, and yeah, things would move on well. But it reached a time and I realized that actually I spend over 30 minutes every day I wake up to figure out which project am I doing, where am I going first? Should I first go to the studio? Should I first go and make this shot? Should I first wash? So I found out that I am actually spending too much time every day, and I end up actually going for things that don't actually profit me. However much I was very, I thought about it for a very, very long time. So this is the thing. you know I noticed that I was actually moving from one thing to another, starting this one and starting this one and starting this one, and I was never finishing those things. I was showing up, I was hardworking, I was working, but I was not progressing. I was actually very busy. Everyone is calling you, I'm doing this one, I'm doing this one, I'm doing this one. But when the marginal productivity is actually zero, because the focus was not there. I move, every day has its own incomes, like things that actually come to your life. You will never go out, stand up, go out of your house, and you don't find something new. Someone else will call you and something. So I got an example from this Arsenal game. Do you know last season, Arsenal was in Champions League semi-final. And when the first match was at the Emirates, and Arsenal lost by 1 goal to PSG. And I was watching some analysts saying, this one game, the 1 goal is very easy. Arsenal will definitely catch up and things will be better. But another actually analyst who was more experienced said that on high levels, they are the small margins that matter. This hit me hard because, at certain point of our lives, we are going to that time is going to reach when the smallest margin that no one was focusing on are the actual things that are making the progress, because that's the only reason, the only difference between the people that almost make it with the people that actually make it, because Arsenal was almost making it. But because of the smallest margins, we shall not buy a striker. We shall just go there, We shall not have a backup for Partey, He's a very good. And they were undermining them because things were going on well. But when you got on a higher level, and the higher level, that was the Champions League, things were harder without a strategy, without a plan. So the things that actually the small margins are consistency, maybe planning, maybe disciplining. It depends on actually where you are going and how you want to progress. Because I realized I actually had the potential, but I was losing with small margins. I wasn't losing because I was not good. I was losing because I was not consistent. I was losing because I didn't make a good strategy. Because when I actually decided to make plans, to make strategies, I moved from waking up and hoping things would work out, because I am naturally gifted. No, I moved from being spontaneous to being strategic. Every day was a different one, and I could definitely track my progress and things would work. So as in football, you have the flair, but without the strategies, without the proper training, the proper substitutes and people you buy, you may find yourself being like Arsenal in semi-finals. So now try to focus on the small margins, focus on the small daily improvements and track them. Some people write, which is very good. Other people can track things in their minds. So because small margins are the things that separate potential from greatness. So if you want to be a great person, have a strategy.